This is example number 2. We still have a concave mirror. You can tell it's concave. I still have my center of curvature and my focal point marked. But you'll notice I've moved my object. My object, this arrow, is now between the focal point and the center of curvature. This should change the characteristics of the image that I get. So let's see what happens. We're going to use the same 3 rules. So rule number 1, we're going to draw ourselves a line that starts at the top of the object, goes straight in, and then bounds down and goes through the focal point. Again, if you need to pause, please pause at any point so you can draw your lines on yourself. Okay, that's rule number 1. Rule number 2. Rule number 2, we went through the top of the object, so through the top of the object, through the focal point, and then we're going to go straight out. So straight out. Now, they don't quite cross because I didn't make my first one long enough. This happens, not a big deal. That's, why I can extend this line. It's also why you can erase or you can fix your line yourself. Okay, third rule. And the third rule, I'm going to go through the center of curvature, and then I'm going to go through I just did some weird color stuff. I'll fix my colors in a second. Center of curvature and back along itself. I got distracted, sorry. Center of curvature, back along itself. Now, mine didn't work out perfectly, I admit. I'm slightly off. I'm going to fix a couple little things here. I'll fix my color. But don't be upset when that happens, right? Because remember, this is a little bit there can be some imperfection. You are using a ruler, you're drawing on lines, right? And you'll see mine almost cross here, but you can see where they're supposed to cross. That's where they should cross. So that's where I'm going to draw in my image. Do draw in your image. That's a requirement. I'm going to draw in my image. Remember, my image is going to be an arrow starting at the dotted line and going to where they cross. I'm going to go to basically the center of where they cross. Somewhere in here is where they cross. And I'm going to draw in my image. Mine's a little crooked. So this will now let me describe what they look like, right? They can now describe it because that's all I'm trying to do is use my salt to describe it. So size-wise, well, that arrow I just drew is much bigger than the original. So I'm going to say larger because it's a lot longer. Attitude, well, it's upside down or inverted. Location, well, when I look at the location, it is further from the mirror. See, it's way out here, and the original object was in here. So I'm going to say it's farther from the mirror because it is. And finally, the type. Remember, the type is tricky. In this case, though, I see it's inverted. Inverted must be on a screen. It's real. All inverted images are real, which means if I put this on a screen, I'd move the screen back and forth, and this is where I would finally get a nice focused image at this location.